Well, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Rah, rah, rah. It's something about Project 365 that just gets my energy going. Welcome to this platform, acknowledged as Project 365. I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization, which is acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated. And we have the great opportunity, the privilege, and most of all, I love to say it, the God assignment to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration to you, our audience across the whole wide world. And don't forget, our words have power. He's doing it, and I'm grateful for it. Let me bring in my co-host.
Hello, everyone. My name is Takara Swan, and I am so happy to be here with you today. Before we bring on our guest and have her take the platform, I just want to remind you to please go to our YouTube page, like, share, subscribe, because that is how you help us spread hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world.
There she goes again with that entire world. To God be the glory for the great things that he has done, he's doing, and he's going to do. We're grateful to God. Well, today we have the great opportunity to present to some and definitely introduce to others, Dr. Trenace Richardson. She is one of our Soul Wealth sisters, rah, rah. And we are so grateful to have her on our platform on today. Our topic today is so interesting. I can hardly wait to hear from her. You're not broken. You are a mosaic. Ooh, doesn't that sound good? Yes, yes. And we're going to learn more. We're going to hear more. We're going to write notes. We're going to share this, comment on it, like it. We're going to tag. We're going to do what we need to do to get this message across the world. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Richardson, for accepting my invitation, our invitation to come and share what is on your heart. We are excited to have you to grace our platform. And at this moment, we're going to allow you to just come on and do what you do. You have the platform.
Well, thank you so much. If there is ever a time that you don't hear me or see me clearly, please let me know. It is a pleasure to be with you today. Project 365 is impressive. Let me tell you, this is monumental, and I'm going to come back to that word in just a little while. It's such a blessing to be on this platform and to be a part of something so major. So thank you for the opportunity. I just salute what you're doing here to be a blessing to everyone all year long. As Portia has said, my name is Trenace Richardson, and I am the founder of Real Women. We like to use the moniker Real Women Rock because we do, and we exist to create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves, and we do that through sister circles. I am also the founder of Leading with Soul because what I found is every woman needs a safe space, and we created that by creating Real Women. And then there were real women leaders who really felt, you know what, I need an extra layer of safety so that I can learn and grow as a leader, because some folks don't allow women leaders in general, but women leaders, the grace to grow amidst the people that they influence and lead. And so Women Leading with Soul is another community that I created so that we could, as women leaders, learn to lead and live from our core, from our soul. And so through that work, in addition to all of the work I've done as a preacher, as a speaker, as a higher education researcher and professor, and now a director of organizational development and learning, I have utilized my learnings to really do research and put together a lot of socially, emotional, physical, developmental curriculum and learning that we can all grow from. And what I've learned is that we as women perceive ourselves oftentimes as broken. And I'm specifically focusing on this sharing for men and women. This is really for men and women who specifically refer to themselves as broken or damaged goods, those who feel that their life experiences have been so tragic and so traumatic that their past experiences really control their current, or they affect their future. I'm speaking to those folks out there because that perception of brokenness is really just a feeling. And I know it feels more than a feeling, but let me break it down for you. It's just a feeling, it's an emotional state. It is not your state of being, it is not who you are at your core. It is just how you're feeling about what has happened to you. And
Yeah.
our circumstances don't determine our being and who we are. And so, if brokenness is a feeling or an emotional state of being, my supposition is that it can be addressed. It can be altered. We very often feel, happy and elated one minute and sad the next. We feel up one day and down the next. Our emotions fluctuate. I'm telling you that your brokenness is not a state of being. It is something that can be altered by practice and focus. We can refocus. We can remind ourselves. We can remember who we are at our core, and we can refocus and practice what it means to live whole. And so I've really spent some time thinking about brokenness, just to be honest with you, because I've lived in that state of emotional being, of thinking I'm broken. Anybody out there, just wave at us, whether you are live or on the replay. If you have said that to yourself, I'm not talking to you about something I don't know. I'm talking to you not about something I heard, but something that I've got the t-shirt to prove it. Because the idea of feeling broken often stems from our childhood. It often comes from maybe something someone told us during our formative years, or during some milestone or benchmark moments in our lives, and it stuck with us. Maybe they said we weren't smart, or maybe they called us stupid, or maybe someone took advantage of us physically, and it made us feel like we weren't worth any more than what happened to us in that moment. Maybe somebody told us that nobody would ever want us. I mean, it could be a seed of anything that we begin now to compare ourselves to other people. Anybody a witness?
You're
That we
right.
compare ourselves to other people, and we end up thinking that we are less than, and it stems from these past as well as childhood or young adulthood moments that affect our future and our current. And so that is what happened to me. I lived in this area, this state of brokenness, and can I be honest with you, a lot of it was from it was indoctrinated into me based on
Yes.
based on my church environment, based on religiosity, this idea that we are nothing, we are nobody, and we are, all of that filthy rags and all of that. That can get into your psyche to have you believe, have it had me believing that my self-worth was absolutely nothing, and not check this out, not just without God, but without the church, or without, whatever my affiliation was, that I needed to stay connected to that in order to connect with who I was at my
Right.
core. And so growing up, I received that and believed that. And so I want to transition to what that did to me. What it basically did was it affected my relationships. I began to be in unhealthy, toxic relationships. And so it perpetuated this idea that I wasn't worth it because I'd been told I wasn't worth it. And then if I'm thinking I'm not worth it, remember, state of mind, if I'm thinking I'm not worth it, I'm attracting stuff and people and environments that would perpetuate that thought. And so brokenness becomes an emotional state or a feeling that if we don't address, it builds in us, it perpetuates itself, it grows. It's like a snowball growing in and over again on itself. But it can be addressed because it is taught It is learned behavior. It is learned thinking. It is a learned emotional state. It is not our innate, inherent being. It is not who we are. And I would submit to you that even our broken perception in this moment, in this season of life that we're in, this pandemic, all of this craziness that we're in right now, I would submit to you that it is purposeful so that we can shift. It's giving us all an opportunity to notice where we are so that we can shift. And my goal for these last few minutes is to give you some tools, some resources, some moments of reflection so that you can make that shift and come back to this video anytime you feel necessary to make that shift from brokenness to a new state of being, because it really is just your emotional state. I want to share with you that you're broken, you're perceived, because remember, they're not real. Your perceived broken pieces are purposeful because they bring us to a state of wholeness. I want you to think about a mosaic. And for all of us literally who are not sure what it looks like, after this video, go and just Google mosaic. You will notice the most beautiful masterpieces. They look amazing. They could be pictures, they could be pottery. Some people make mosaic tables, they make mosaic coasters. All of these beautiful pieces that are made, the key ingredient, hear me now, the key ingredient to these mosaics are broken pieces. The key ingredient to these mosaics are broken pieces. Someone has purposefully broken some pieces and then uses them to put them together in a very strategic way, an intentional way, adds to them grout or glue and some paste, and allows those broken pieces to come together. I promise you, if you go after this video and look up a mosaic, it will bless your life to see the masterpieces that come out of these broken pieces. And I submit to you that you and we would not have chosen to have felt broken at any point in our lives. We would not have chosen to have those situations come to our lives. We would not have chosen to have the toxic knuckleheads exist in our lives that we have had to deal with. We would not have chosen those moments, but I believe that they have happened and allowed us to get to this space so that we can recognize where we are and shift into this mosaic mindset. Shifting into a mosaic mindset just simply allows us to perceive and see and feel differently about those broken pieces. Yes, it happened to us. Yes, it made us feel a certain type of way. It hurt. It broke our hearts. It did something damaging to us at a soul level, at a core level. It made a difference in how we made decisions and how we moved about our lives. We look back on our lives now and say, if only I had made different decisions, I would be here or I would be there. I recognize all of that, but guess what? We are here right now today. So in this moment today, we have an opportunity to take on a mosaic mindset. Whether you are watching live or on the replay, I challenge you to put in the chat and to say aloud, I have a mosaic mindset. Here is how we come to that. We recognize that all of those pieces make up a masterpiece. I am, you are a masterpiece right where you are. And I can say that because if it had not been for the brokenness that I perceived in my past, and some, depending upon the day, I'm not perfect, depending upon the day, how I'm feeling, I would not be able to help the hundreds of women that I have helped in Real Women, because I wouldn't be able to relate to what they have been through. I wouldn't be able to have an international nonprofit that affects and touches women that I have never even met before because of the broken pieces that I have now shifted and turned into lessons and tools that I can share with somebody else. I am a masterpiece, and I refuse to just look at the scriptures that say I'm filthy rags and all of this stuff. I look at the scripture that says I am beautifully and wonderfully and fearfully made. And I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am more than a conqueror. I choose to perceive that I am not just God's creation, but God made me a co-creator of my life. And because I am a co-creator, I get to choose every moment of every day how I perceive my life and how I move forward as I perceive. And so mosaic mindset is about seeing yourself as a masterpiece rather than broken pieces. The second thing is to really perceive, mosaics perceive this moment as monumental. Every single moment is monumental. I could choose to live in the past. I could choose to dwell on my yesterday. I could choose, listen, I'm dieting right now, and I'm looking at my clock to make sure I'm not too over. I'm almost done. I
You're
am,
good.
I,
You're good.
I am, and I don't, it's a lifestyle diet for me where I'm shifting how I eat. But do you know that it gets really rough some days? I'm a chocolate girl. I love me some chocolate. And so the idea that I would have a cheat meal or I would eat the wrong thing in a moment, I get to make a decision whether I'm going to let that moment define me or whether I'm going to move forward and the next meal will be a healthier one. The next decision will be one that serves my body instead of putting toxins in it. We get to make decisions every moment. Every moment for a mosaic is monumental. And so I want you to begin to think just in these last few moments. We have talked about our brokenness. We talked about those things that we thought would define the rest of our lives. I want you to think about those moments differently. Perceive them as opportunities. In this pandemic, everything should be shifting. The way we move, the way we think, the way we do, the way we be, all of it should be different. And so for me, I am personally taking this moment. I'm shifting my mindset to a mosaic mindset. Everything that I perceived as broken has been just put together, literally divinely pieced
Mhm.
together to make me the mosaic masterpiece that I am. And from this day forward, every moment that God gives me to inhale and exhale, to breathe and suck in air and to let go carbon dioxide is a monumental moment that I can choose to be a mosaic. I am so excited about this topic, Portia, that I have a book coming out in the new year, literally called Mosaic. And the subtitle is How Religion Broke Me, but God Put Me Back Together Again. And so I'm looking forward to sharing that with the world, as Tarika said, with the world, and I would love to come back and share with you even more once that is out. And I am and can be found at TrenaceRichardson.com, and we are in the midst. Our communities are in the midst of what we call a purge right now. We're beginning this Sunday for the next 21 days. We are literally purging our emotional spaces, our physical spaces, our spiritual spaces to declutter our mind, our body, and our soul, and even our physical spaces in our houses so that we can start the brand new year with a mosaic mindset. I love you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
This has been wonderful. I don't even know where to start as far as some feedback or to recap some things. So I'm gonna go and listen to it all over again myself. But I love that piece that talks about I'm a masterpiece.
Yes.
God doesn't make junk. He doesn't
Mm-mm,
make junk.
not at all.
I'm a
Yes.
masterpiece. And then I began to think about all the things that's happened in my life. And I just at that time, I did not realize I'm a mosaic. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize it. The enemy doesn't want you to realize it as well when you're in it.
Mm-mm.
Oh, but I thought about as well when you were speaking. Remember the game pick up sticks? You remember the little, that's telling my
Yeah.
age, right?
No, I
Takira, did you
love
ever
it.
heard of pick up sticks? Look, but I thought about, you know how we used to throw them up and then wherever they land. But I thought this was that happened in my life. This one was this that happened in my life. That one was that happened in my life. But when you brought them together, even with
Woo.
the different colors represented this, the different color and different points. But I tell you what, when it all comes together, you stand flat-footed and say, "This is who God made me," because I sweep all of that together. I bring all
That's
of it
so
together,
good. Oh, that's so good.
and it was
That's so
needed.
good. Yeah, you made me think about when I look over the span of my life, there is so much beauty in perceived brokenness
Mm.
because it says that I have survived and I've moved into a space when you can see it differently, when you can perceive it differently, it moves you from I'm just surviving to I'm thriving. I'm literally reaping the benefits of having survived all of these things, and I am strengthened as a result. The last thing I'll say, you made me think about they're tortoises, turtles that are summer turtles on the beach. The mother turtle births the baby away from the shore. They have to get, they're sea turtles, so they have to get to the water, but she births them way up on the shore, and the eggs are cracked and they are birthed way up on the shore, and they have to walk and make their way, little itty bitty bodies, little bit itty bitty turtles, they have to make their way to the water. And if you see them making their way to the water, it looks like they're struggling. It looks like they're not going to make it. They have to stop and take a break. But if you were to pick them up from where they were hatched and throw them into the water, they wouldn't make it because their lungs haven't developed yet. Their muscles aren't strong enough yet. It is that journey from where the mother hatched them all the way to the water that strengthens them enough to make them successful when they get to the water so that they can swim and breathe. And that is what I believe our perceived brokenness does for us. Our past situations just strengthens us for the reaping of the harvest that we can perceive ourselves in right now.
The reaping of the harvest. Whoever knew that what I was going through or what you were going through or Takira was going through at that time would be on a platform to tell the world. And it's kind of like,
Yes.
it's like, you can't tell my story. Let me tell my story. You just might leave something out. And as Dr. Vicki Johnson says, let me tell it myself. Just in case you do
Mm-hmm.
leave something out, let me just tell you the whole story. But
Yeah.
God is faithful. God is faithful
Yes.
because every piece, when you bring it together, every piece
Mm.
means something. Every
Yes.
shape, every shape, because all of them are not shaped the same.
Mm-mm. It's
Every
intentional.
color,
Yep.
yes,
It's
yeah.
intentional and
Oh, it's
purposeful.
get
We've been through it. I've been through it. You've been through it to bring us to this moment right here, this monumental mosaic moment to recognize that we are a masterpiece.
we are a masterpiece, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And even
Yes.
in your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, he wants to take everything you've experienced and actually cause you to shut your mouth. But you can do anything you want to. I will not stop praising God for what he's done, what he's doing,
Yes.
and what he's going to
Yes.
do. I can't do
Yes.
it. I just can't do
Mm-hmm.
it. It's in my DNA to just give God praise. That's what I was born to do because I'm a mosaic.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So this
So
can
may
go
we
on.
go and look at it differently. I know we could keep going, but I'm just it blessed me to revisit it. I'm gonna go back and look at a mosaic and reflect on who I am.
Well, I really, really enjoyed you today for real. Like, oh my goodness, this was amazing. So, of course, like I always say, please share this video because this really will help everyone. And, we've been talking um, throughout the year, but a lot recently about shifting your mind. And this goes right along with it about changing your mindset to a mosaic mindset. Now, I don't know anyone out there who has actually made anything like a mosaic, like an art class or anything. But like you said, every little piece is so important. And somebody else, so if you're in a classroom making a mosaic, whatever, okay, like you have all your pieces there. For number one, it's going to be messy. So that's one thing you have to remember. It's going to be so messy, but it has a meaning, it has a purpose, and other people who are doing the same thing as you, it's not going to look the same. And they may look at yours like, I don't know what in the world she's doing over there. What is that? It doesn't matter because when all those pieces are together, that's when you can see the masterpiece that you have created. So just keep that in mind, guys. It's going to be messy. Other people on the outside may not know what's going on with your situation. They may think it's a mess, but you need to remember that it's purposeful. You're purposeful. You have purpose here and you are beautiful. And it's almost like seeing a young woman or a young man who has really bad low self-esteem. They don't think they're cute or they don't think they're handsome. They don't think they're smart. And you're looking at them like, oh my gosh, do you not see that you're amazing? That's why we have to shift that mindset because you may not see your beauty, but others see it. And people need that. People need your experiences of what you've gone through. People need to hear your journey, your story, because that helps them to develop and be the beautiful mosaic that they are as well. And if you want to think about all of us as a big mosaic, okay, we're all needed. All those pieces have to come together. So you're needed, Miss Portia's needed, Dr. Richardson is needed, and they all form this humongous masterpiece. So we just have to remember that. And I'm telling you, you really, really blessed me today. And the last thing I'm going to say, we talked about that shifting our mindset. Earlier this year, we talked about the year of re, and I talked about, how you have to reimagine, reevaluate, reinvent yourself, recommit to yourself, and respond. All these things, guys, it's just so amazing. That's why I keep telling you, I don't just say this to say it. I keep telling you to go back and look at the videos because even Project 365, like we haven't planned it, God has planned it. And it's all a beautiful mosaic as well. Every guest has given you something to feed your mind, feed your body, feed your soul. And it all comes together. That's why sometimes when people come on here, you hear things that kind of overlap. It's like the signal. God's like, hello, this is your sign. I'm telling you, shift your mindset. You're amazing. Let's do what you need to do. So I just really thank you for coming and sharing with us today. I really enjoyed you.
It
Oh,
was
you blessed
beautiful.
me. Look, Takira just blessed me. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
I tell you, we like you said earlier, we can go on and on with this because this is a great topic. When you really look back and see where the Lord has brought you from and the things that you've gone through, it talks about even Dr. Lois when she talked about perception, where you perceive it. Here, the enemy wants you to think one way, but you turn that thing around. Then talk to yourself. Tell yourself that you're a mosaic. You have to tell yourself that. Keep talking to yourself until you're convinced. Don't wait for someone else to tell you. You're uniquely made. Okay, we're going to leave you. We're going to leave you for today. We're going to leave you because if I say one more thing, look, I'll be like, Holy Spirit, to me. Okay, we're going to leave you for today, but just know we have a guest for you tomorrow who also is going to bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration. This platform is only about hope, inspiration, and encouragement. So we want you to today, don't forget, go back and replay this, share it, like it, comment, but make sure you come back tomorrow. Matter of fact, we're having two guests tomorrow, one at 1 o'clock, and then we'll have another at 3. So we'll see you at 1 p.m. and we'll see you at 3 p.m. But today we must leave you. But if we don't see you again tomorrow, have a great weekend. We love you and God bless.